What's going on, guys? Today I got another video here from Simple Lifesaver, and today I'm going to show you how to stop food debris and oil from falling down the gap of your stove with a simple hack: creating your own gap filler. So gap fillers are great because they prevent the food from slipping down here and getting on the floor, and it helps prevent pests. Because I don't know if you, for all the people that moved out their stove and look down the side of the stove, there's usually like a bunch of oil and crumbs alongside of the stove, and it really is really bad for pests. So you should try to have something that actually fills this gap so you don't have the food debris falling down, especially if you're cooking frequently or if you have a big family and you're just making dishes all the time and stuff will slip down. No matter how hard you try to prevent it, stuff will fall down in this gap. The best thing to do is just to fill the gap with a simple gap filler, as I said. And you could actually pick these up at Home Depot, because this is actually a T molding, a metal T molding for a flooring. This piece is the piece that transitions between two types of flooring. And I basically just cut this down and used it in the gap. What makes it really cool too is that it's made out of aluminum, so it could withstand heat. You could rest pots on it, and you could bring hot food from your counter to the stove, and if it drips on it, it will be completely fine. And it is washable. You can even throw this thing in your dishwasher if you want to, because it's rust proof, because it's aluminum. It will not rust up on you. So there's a couple of things if you decide to make your own gap filler. Depending on how far your stove sits off the wall, you want to make sure you get the right measurements to create your gap filler. So in my particular case, let's get my tape measure out. The distance from the back of my stove to the front is 22.5 inches. And the gap is roughly 1/4 of an inch. And you don't want to go no more than 5/8 of an inch if you're getting this particular T molding, because that's the maximum will go before it falls in. So you want to make sure your gap is not too small and not too big to accommodate this particular one. And another thing I love with these things, because I find them kind of stylish, and you could find them in a wide variety of colors. So I actually like the silver on black. I think that looks kind of nice. You know, other people might not prefer it, but I think it looks kind of dope. So going back to the measurements, so you want to make sure your measurements are right. And also, when you're cutting this thing, you want to mark a straight line. Is this the end I cut? Let's go here. Yeah, this is the end I cut. So when you're cutting this thing, you want to mark a straight line, and then use a hacksaw and hold it as steady as possible, and then saw back and forth. Start off slowly, just make your guide, saw back and forth, and then pick up the pace, and then go right through and get your clean cut. But even still, it's going to still be hard to get a clean cut on this thing. So what you want to do is you want to put the cut portion to the back, so then you have the clean machine cut portion sitting at the front. So then you get a nice look. So what I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to pull up my whole stove, and I'm going to show you how effective this thing is for stopping grease. Give me 1 second, I'll get back to you guys. Okay, let's see how effective this thing for stopping grease. So I haven't pulled this thing out in definitely over a year. So let's see what this looks like. So this is my stove. So as you can see, it's pretty much just dust. You've got like one little drip there, which is not horrible. But typically when you're cooking, it's just like all oil and grease going down the sides. This is just dust. This is way better. And this will keep away pests. Like ants, insects, they're not messing around with the dust. They'll go look elsewhere for food. So let's see what the floor looks like. Not bad. I got one raisin over there. So yeah, it definitely prevents all the crumbs from hitting that section there. So typically without having this thing, I would have food debris that comes all the way down here. You don't always pull the stove out, and after a couple of years or two, when you actually decide to do it, you might have a bunch of crumbs on the ground. Another thing you got to make sure you do is level your stove, because you want your gap filler to sit level with your countertop and stove. Not bad. So what you're going to do is, if your stove currently doesn't sit pretty much flush with your countertop, you're going to want to adjust your legs. Your legs are located here. So as you can see, there's like a screw system. So you're going to turn here until you get your level here. And you want to make sure you do that for both legs to get your level. And then once you get your level, you're fine. You're golden. That's pretty much all you need to do. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful, and you use it in your own home and see the difference it brings to the amount of oil and food debris that falls down the gap of your stove. You want to also try to avoid using any plastic tea moldings, because with the heating plastic, it's not a good situation. When plastic heats up, it actually could become toxic, and it could actually even melt. So it will just destroy the look of your tea molding as well. So you want to make sure you go with something metal. You want to go with something that won't rust up on you as well. So just keep that in mind. Also, I have a blog that has a lot more information. So if you guys want to check out other hacks that you could do at home to improve your household and improve your life, please feel free to check the link in the description below. Take care.